Welcome back to the channel. If you follow professional golf, you know the sport has seen its share of bitter rivalries, controversial defections, and ugly legal battles. But what is unfolding right now inside the PGA Tour is something entirely different. Today we are examining the leadership turmoil triggered by Rory McIlroy, a four-time major champion and the most influential voice in modern golf. This has nothing to do with his swing or his putting. The PGA Tour's leadership is facing unprecedented internal strain. Confidential leaks are surfacing. Board members are taking sides. The commissioner is under immense pressure. The locker room is divided, and fans are furious. So, what exactly did McIlroy say? Why is the leadership structure experiencing such a visible meltdown? And who survives the fallout? The answers are more startling than most people realize. This is a full-blown institutional crisis. Subscribe and hit the bell to stay informed. The controversy began with a single sentence. During a routine press conference, McIlroy was asked about the tour's leadership. His answer was anything but routine. He said there were fundamental issues with how the tour was being run, that players needed more of a voice, and that the current structure was not working. The room went silent. Journalists exchanged glances. Cameras zoomed in on his face. He was completely serious. Within minutes, the clip went viral and the golf world exploded. The significance was staggering. McIlroy, the most loyal defender of the PGA Tour throughout its war against LIV golf, had just publicly criticized his own leadership. The comments were not vague or diplomatic. They were direct and damning, plunging the tour into chaos. The reaction was immediate. Commissioner Jay Monahan addressed the comments carefully. He called McIlroy a valued member, said his opinion was respected, and promised to take the feedback seriously. The statement was polished but carried a defensive edge. Monahan knows the weight McIlroy's words carry. When the face of the tour criticizes leadership, everyone listens. Among players, opinions split sharply. One anonymous professional told GolfX that McIlroy was right, that players lacked a voice, and that the commissioner made decisions without proper consultation. Others defended the tour, pointing to unprecedented financial growth and insisting the structure was strong. The media went into overdrive. Every outlet analyzed the words. Every podcast discussed motives. Every show booked guests. The consensus was clear. McIlroy had opened a can of worms, and the leadership now sits under a microscope. The board held an emergency meeting lasting 4 hours. No official decisions emerged, but sources confirm the board is divided. Some members support Monahan. Others believe changes are unavoidable. The tension behind closed doors is palpable. Critically, McIlroy has not backed down. In a follow-up interview, he reinforced his stance without hesitation. He said he stood by every word, that players needed a stronger voice, and that the current model was failing. He framed it not as an act of war, but as an invitation to start a conversation. The conversation has started. Whether it escalates further remains uncertain. To understand why this triggered such drama, we need context. Monahan has led the tour since 2017, overseeing a period of remarkable growth. Prize money has soared, ratings have climbed, and the tour weathered the LIV golf storm. Monahan has been praised, but he has also faced criticism, and now the sharpest critique has come from his most prominent ally. McIlroy has been Monahan's biggest public supporter, defending him in countless interviews and positioning himself as the moral counterweight to LIV. His loyalty was never questioned until now. The timing is critical. The tour is negotiating its next television contract. The LIV threat has receded, but uncertainty lingers. Players are vocal about fatigue, the brutal schedule, and dissatisfaction with signature events. McIlroy's comments poured fuel on a simmering fire. The issues he raised are not new. Players have complained for years about the season being too long, the travel too demanding, and the mandatory events too numerous. The tour made some adjustments, but many feel those changes fall short. McIlroy is now giving voice to that accumulated frustration. Governance is another flashpoint. The board includes player directors, but the commissioner retains final authority. Players want genuine partnership, not a top-down employment model. McIlroy's words drew a bright line under this power imbalance. The relationship between McIlroy and Monahan is now visibly strained. They spoke privately, and accounts describe a tense conversation. McIlroy held firm. Monahan defended his record. No resolution was reached. Other players are growing bolder. Some who waited for a figure of McIlroy's stature to speak out are now adding their voices. The chorus of criticism is swelling, and leadership finds itself on the defensive. Player directors like Tiger Woods and Patrick Cantlay are caught in the middle. They support the commissioner but understand the players' frustrations. Finding balance is proving difficult. The once unified front is cracking. Players are restless, leadership is under siege, and the future is uncertain. The broader reaction has been swift and polarized. Social media has become a battleground. Some fans argue the players are the product and deserve genuine representation. Others defend Monahan, pointing to financial health as proof of competent leadership. A segment of the audience remains simply confused. Among players, divisions are equally stark. Some publicly echo McIlroy, saying he speaks for a large contingent. Others push back, insisting the commissioner has their best interests at heart. The media response has been exhaustive, with every platform dedicating coverage to the crisis. The consistent theme is that the PGA Tour stands at a crossroads. Decisions made now will carry lasting consequences. Tiger Woods offered a measured response when asked. He said McIlroy was entitled to his opinion, that he respected both him and the commissioner, and expressed confidence they would work through the challenges. The words were diplomatic but offered no clear direction. The tour has limited public statements, focusing on damage control. Officials are reaching out to players, trying to calm waters, with a consistent message that the organization is listening and will adapt. Sponsors, who invest millions for association with the PGA Tour, are watching with concern. They want stability, and the current drama is unsettling. LIV Golf is also watching with interest. The leadership turmoil is an unwelcome gift to the Saudi-backed league. Internal PGA problems make the alternative look more appealing. Former defectors may feel vindicated, and potential recruits may be tempted. McIlroy remains resolute. In a social media post, he reiterated he spoke from conviction and that players deserve a voice. He called it common sense, not controversy. The post generated massive engagement, underscoring the depth of feeling. The implications for the tour's future are significant. McIlroy has opened a door, and players are walking through. The most immediate consequence will likely be governance reform. Players want enhanced input and a genuine seat at the table. The current arrangement may shift toward a more equitable partnership. The tour may have little choice, but to agree. The schedule will almost certainly face further changes. Burnout is real. The season is widely seen as too long, and players want a shorter calendar with more flexibility. Repairing the player-commissioner relationship is now urgent. Trust has eroded. Monahan must listen genuinely and demonstrate through actions that input is valued. Words will not be enough. The LIV dynamic must also be reassessed. The leadership crisis is a distraction the tour cannot afford. The competitive threat from LIV has not vanished, and focus must be maintained. Fans, meanwhile, need patience. Resolving these tensions will take time, and the on-course product may temporarily suffer. McIlroy's intervention is a wake-up call. The PGA Tour is not flawless, its leadership is not infallible, and players are not satisfied. The question is whether leadership is willing to evolve. Monahan faces a choice. He can dig in and hope discontent fades, or he can adapt and implement meaningful reform. The future hinges on that decision. Players also face a choice. They can continue demanding change, or they can fall silent and hope for gradual improvement. Sources close to the tour suggest the most plausible outcome is constructive engagement. Leadership understands it needs the players. Negotiations will likely produce concessions. Players will secure some demands. The tour will preserve its standing, and the season will continue. A darker scenario involves the tour ignoring concerns, leading to escalating frustration, nervous sponsors, eroding fan interest, and a strengthened LIV. The most dramatic but least likely outcome would see McIlroy himself defect to LIV, a move that would send shockwaves through the sport. One thing is abundantly clear. Players are no longer willing to stay quiet. They want change, and they will keep demanding it. Leadership has been warned. The drama is just beginning, and the decisions made in the coming days will shape the future of professional golf. Thank you for watching. If you found this breakdown valuable, please like the video and subscribe so you never miss future coverage. I look forward to seeing you back here soon.